Hello my YouTube people. Today I'm coming to you with a story time. I'm gonna be spilling some tea on my dad. My dad. If you know me personally, you know that my dad is very strict. So I'm gonna share some of the funniest stories I've had with. The story is about my dad dragging us out of a carnival. I was with my sister, my middle sister, Andani, and he just dragged us out of that carnival with security guards because so what used to happen is that annually there used to be this an annual show at Makado Showgrounds, and they used to bring this carnival rides and whatnot. Sometimes there would be live performances and whatnot. So my dad dropped us there. I think it was around 12 p.m. in the afternoon, and then he was like, at 5, girls, be at the gate. I will be waiting for you. I will take you home during that time. So now we're there enjoying rides with my sisters. My sister was a bit older than me. She's like, how old is my sister? I think she's like 4-5 years older than me. So she was having fun with her friends, and I was just the young sister there. And when it came time to go, my dad called my sister. My sister was just having fun. She was not answering. And then, so I guess my dad got annoyed with us not coming to the gate and trying to reach us, but he couldn't reach us. So he went to the security guards and told them he lost his kids. The security guards walked with him into the carnival. They were searching for us up and down, up and down. When he got to us, he was annoyed. He was like, we're getting out of here like now. So we had this security escort walking us out. People's eyes were like, what's happening? We look like some kids who just stole something, when securities are walking all around you and stuff like that. So when it came Monday, guys, we were the talk. We were the talk of the school. Like, these girls got dragged out of the carnival, so I guess my dad was just being overprotective of these girls. Like, later we laughed about that, but it was embarrassing, guys. It was embarrassing. I feel like I should do that to my kids to my kids one day as well. And that's the first story. And then the second story, guys, I have never ran like this in my life. I didn't know I have some Caster Semenya in me, but apparently I do. Apparently I do. So my dad has never approved of me dating. I don't think he approves now, but I'm the last born, by the way, so I think he just thinks of me as his little princess. He doesn't want any guys near me or anything. So this was in grade 12 during winter school, and I just came out of school, and there was this guy I liked. This guy was in varsity and he was back home. So this guy was like, okay, when you're done with your winter classes, whatnot, text me and then I'll come meet up with you. So I texted this guy. Let's call him Peter. Okay, so Peter, right, came and met with me. I gave him a hug, all the right feels there in the street, and then he was like, okay, let me walk you home. And then I just thought my dad was at work at the time, right? And we were walking, having a nice time, talking. Like, we were walking super slow because the conversation was lit. It was lit, when a conversation is popping, So my camera decided to stop recording at some point, but we are back. Where was I? Oh yes. So the conversation was popping with this guy, right? And then I see this car pass. There was a white car, and it had this funny colored number plates, and I sort of knew that it was like a departmental car. I was like, but nah, that's not my dad. So my dad passed us on the street, He went and parked further. When I saw that car park, I knew something was about to go down, right? And then he calls me. I'm like, I answer him. He's like, hi, is that you walking with that guy? And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, who's this guy? And I'm like, no, it's just this random guy that I met on the street. You know, he wanted to accompany me, but I didn't really want him to accompany me. And then my dad was like, tell him to turn back. And then I was like, to this guy, Ufi Umani, which is to say, my dad says, turn back. And then my dad was like, so you don't want this guy to turn back? You are only saying he must turn back because I told you to tell him to turn back. And I was like, for a moment there I was like confused. I didn't know what to say anymore. And then so the guy turned back, and my dad was like, when I get home you must be home. Mind you, he's driving, I'm walking. And then he drove towards the direction of where home is. And then I'm like, which means I have to run here, to run home. Then I started running. Yo, I've never run like that, hey? Like, I have never in my life run like that. So when I got home, I don't find him there. And then I find my auntie there, and then I'm asking, where's my dad? And then she's like, your dad hasn't come back since, you know, he left in the morning. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? Maybe he just wanted me to come home. So I got home. Now I was planning answers for when he will call me for a family meeting and for me to explain myself. So I planned the story, you know, I had a story laid down so well. But he came back, acting like nothing happened, you know. And then next day, still nothing happened, you know. And then after I think 2-3 days or something, my mom comes to me. I remember this very well. I was mopping outside, I was cleaning the stoop outside. And then my mom was like, your dad tells me you were walking with a guy, you know, you were there flirting in the streets. And then I was like, So my mom asks who I was with, and I'm like, I was with Peter. And then my mom was like, but your dad says you were with a guy that you didn't know and you're trying to make him turn back. So my story got ruined at that point, and I was like, yo, you see, I know this guy, but you know, he's just a friend and whatnot. My mom sort of understood, but then my dad didn't quite. But the story just got lost somewhere, and then we forgot about that. And then after that, I was just like super scared to be seen with a guy in the streets, because my dad is the best. Yeah. And then the last story, this is my favorite one ever. My dad nearly shut down my metric dance. Say what? Like, he was like, you're not going to your metric dance because you're out here acting up. Guys, so a little background on this story. So what happened is, I was going on a date with this, my metric dance date was like, okay, I got cars and whatnot to escort us to the metric dance. I was like, yay, hippie and whatnot. But I didn't tell my dad about the story that we'll be going to our metric dance in like fancy cars and whatnot, because I knew my dad would kill me. I just wanted him to find out while we were there, so that it happens and then he can kill me afterwards, you know. And then so my date texted me sometime during the day of the metric dance. The metric dance was like at night. So he texts me, he's like, look, I organized a photo shoot, you know, let's meet up in town and whatnot. And then He's like, you can change in my place, you know, you don't need to like change, catch a taxi or whatever. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then I packed my dress, I packed my makeup, I packed everything to sort of like freshen up when I get there. And then I told my sister, okay, you guys and my dad, you sort of meet me at the school already. So I don't know what happened when my sister explained that story to my dad. My dad thought that the photo shoot was like at the school or something like that. So I was at this guy's place, I changed. His aunt and his mom were there, so we're not like alone, you know, we're not doing adult things. So his mom and his aunt was there. They showed me a room, then I went there and I changed. I did my makeup and everything. Hey, by the way, makeup in the day. Hey, Chineke. So now what happened from that? So my dad is calling now after I've changed and everything. He's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm at this guy's place and then I just changed. And my dad was like, guy's place, what are you guys doing there? And I guess he sort of like put me on loudspeaker and my mom was there. Sure guys, these people shouted at me like, you're out there doing adult things, you know, you're feeling yourself, you feel like you're a woman now, you know, and wada. And then my dad was like, I am coming to fetch you there from that guy's house. I am taking you home. This metric dance is not gonna happen for you, girl. And then I was like, oh my god, my dad is gonna ruin my metric dance. And then I sort of like explained to this guy, this is what is happening. And then he went and he spoke to his dad, and yeah, and then my dad wasn't getting the direction of the house correct where I was, so we decided to drive to the garage where where my dad was. So when we drove to the garage, his dad sort of came with us, and then he went and spoke to my dad. He's like, no, you know, this is like an innocent thing, they're just kids, you know, maybe they didn't explain things properly and stuff like that. And then my dad sort of got an understanding from the dad, and then after that we sort of like drove somewhere. We got into the cars that were supposed to escort us. We did the whole escorting thing to the metric dance. We walked in and it was nice, but now there was an after party, right? Guess what happened? My dad parked outside of the school the whole entire duration of my metric dance. So once they said cut, your metric dance is done, my dad located wherever I was. Like, girl, we are going home. I was like, oh, okay, we are going home. I remember, I think we went with some of my friends as well, because my dad like told some of the parents of my friends that, you know, I'll bring your kids back home. And then we got into the car, we went home, and that was my metric dance. You know, everyone had these lit stories of the after party, you know, things were going down, you know, and people were having a nice time. But now I was sleeping at home, guys. My heart. But I'm sort of like, I'm not mad at the fact that I didn't go to that after party, because the tea that came with the after party afterwards was just too much, you know. And then yeah, I guess dads are just like overprotective of their daughters, and you know, I sort of like turned out the way I am because he had his rules, and those rules made me what I am today, and I'm grateful and I love him very much, you know. I can't complain much, but those are the lit stories. Like, my dad doesn't take nonsense from anyone. Even to this day, you know, I can tell my mom, there's this boy I like, but dad, you'll probably hunt that guy down and, you know, not literal. So thank you for watching this video. Please comment below on what crazy stories you have with your parents, your grandparents. I think I should do a grandparent and mom edition of this. You know, come to think of it, my mom's one will be pretty limited, because as much as my dad never used to hit me, you know, my mom, guys, do you know what ifatu is? A wet one, a wet fatu. You know, my mom used to beat me with that, like the kitchen cloth, when it's like, damn, if I do nonsense, I used to get that. And yeah, that used to happen a lot. And my mom used to ground me a lot. You know, she used to take my phone a lot. And during the mixed days, guys, that was the worst thing that could happen to you. Like when the group chats are popping, then mom sees the light of your phone on. She's like, ring. It's coming back at the end of the semester. And I guess my marks were popping, you know, because I was never on my phone that much. And then yeah, so guys, comment with the crazy stories that you have with your parents down there, and then like, subscribe, and do all the things. By the way, I joined Twitter, guys. Please follow me. It's at ANZA_Ramabulana. Yes, I'll put it down in the description box as well. You can also follow me on my Instagram, and my Facebook is too full. I think I don't know what I'll do about that, but yeah, we are on our road to 200 subscribers. I'm excited because one day I'll be saying 2k 200k subscribers with you guys. Your support is amazing, and I'll see you in the next video, which I might just